Hello, once again, and welcome back to another Moonflower Tarot reading. In today's reading, I'm going to be taking messages, channeling messages from the realm of the fairies or the fae, otherwise known as nature spirits. Since they've been coming up a lot, it's spring season, and they've been kind of itching at me to channel for them for a while now. Um, I've experienced a lot of moments of almost clairaudience and clairsentience where they've been coming to me. So I thought it might be good at this point to channel messages for anybody who might be new here or new to the Fae, receiving messages from fairies, or are currently working with either fairy magic, spirit magic, or just really want to tap into their own power. And I am very much here for you. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, everyone who has been watching. You are very welcome here, and I appreciate your support to this channel and this community. And just want to remind everyone that everyone from all walks of life is very much welcome. Um, and what I'm hearing is, whether you know it or not, dear viewer, you are highly intuitive and incredibly psychic. And one of the main messages that came up early on today, even before I started meditating and channeling, has to do with stepping into a more spiritual practice. If those of you out there are interested in being either tarot readers, divination, or just intuitively channeling, I was actually sort of given almost a sneak peek at what this reading might be about. And now I just want to tell you, I'm very much an energy reader. I do a lot of clear channeling. I tend not to focus too much on the cards. And so before we get there, the reason why I have been mentioning that a lot more lately is because I've been finding my own voice in the spiritual community and in divination, and basically my pursuit of being a light, a spiritual healer, and working with the community at large, and all of you lovely people who have been here and are continuing to be a part of this beautiful community. Wherever you go in this world, we are all working together. And one of the main points Spirit brought to my attention had to do with my own foray into this channel even. So what I will say, that for any of you out there who want to be a reader or a tarot reader, a channeler, let me give you this piece of advice. Know your own style. Learn your own voice. Learn your own truth. Because it's one thing to learn the cards and gain mastery over what it is on paper, to study it. And I do advise you to, if you feel compelled to, study the story of tarot, study the cards themselves. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to implement that into practice, speaking it into being. It's two different things to read the cards at face value and then to intuit it outside of that value, outside of the box. And one of the ways of learning tarot and divination is to understand that we all send messages and receive them differently. So a piece of advice I have for you is, if you feel stuck, if you feel like you are facing a challenge with trying to bring messages through and you feel frustrated, I'm hearing your Achilles heel might actually be frustration with channeling messages from the divine, but it might not really make sense to you how you do it, or you find your own voice. So let me give this my own life story to you. So I started pursuing this career like 4 or 5 years ago, let's just say, or at least it started out as a hobby. And I studied the tarot, I studied the Rider Waite deck, and I learned from other readers, and I was pretty much self taught. I didn't have any mentorship. It was just a journey of my own volition that I decided to do because I had already had a lot of different types of abilities. I originally started divination by um, automatic writing. So I would channel messages through automatic writing. And that didn't really work too well for me in the long run. It wasn't sustainable. And there's a lot of reason for that personally. And then when I got into reading tarot cards, I almost got stuck. Like there was a blockage and there was a limitation there because I could know what the cards meant on paper, but my intuition was almost like being blocked simultaneously because I was stuck at a certain type of process where I was just not able to see the cards. So I got to a point where I knew the cards front and back. I knew what they meant, but I got stuck. And the funniest thing is the card that like almost blocked me the most from reading, every single time this card came up, I just could not read it. I didn't remember what it meant. And it was the Seven of Wands. And it's so funny because I was thinking about this morning, and I realized that for a long time I had not pulled the Seven of Wands for any of my readings, or I don't believe for any of the readings I've done here. And for myself this morning, and it's actually an energy of this reading, the Seven of Wands just came out. And the Seven of Wands basically comes after the six. And we think about the sevens in the Rider Waite like tarot process from ace to king. The seven is basically like going back into battle, but from a higher and wiser perspective. So if the fives in tarot are about overcoming this challenge or being in the middle of an obstacle, being in the middle of a fight where you're unprepared and it's unsettling. The sixes are like this catharsis, this release, this return to this serenity, this calm. And then the sevens is like we're going back out on the field, except this time you're not just a cadet, you're like a general. You're moving up the ranks, you're older and wiser. So with the Wands card, I was almost like fighting myself all over again to try to figure out, how do I get a message from this? I can't see this. And the problem was I had to have faith that the truth just came through me. And that's how I found out that I was just a clear channeler. I could talk, and everything I said would just flow out of me. And I didn't even have to look or read the cards. I read the energy. If I hadn't gotten stuck on the Seven of Wands, I wouldn't have found out I was an energy reader. I wouldn't have found out that however many people might be with me or viewing me right now, I can speak to every single one of you in a different way and not even know it, because I am just allowing spirit to move through me. And so depending on the energies around me and the viewership, I will change a lot of how I speak, my inflection, and I will slow down. I feel actually incredibly calm right now. What I'm going to say to you is I feel so calm and zen. I wouldn't be surprised if most of you came from some sort of meditation session or are drinking tea that is very calming. And I'm seeing like eucalyptus oil and some sort of fragrances. So some of you might have come from a meditation session. And I feel for most of you, if you are getting into any sort of spirituality medium, even if it's just a practice for yourself, you have to know yourself well enough to understand what works and what doesn't, but also don't hesitate to try different methods, because tarot might not be right for you or even good for you. Insofar as it might just be not the process you need to get information. Maybe you read tea leaves, maybe you read runes, maybe you are an automatic writer, but you never know till you try. So one of the methods I feel like Spirit is calling you to practice is just experimentation with different methods of divination, and call upon Spirit, your guides, angels, any deities you work with, and ask them what might be a good direction to look in, but you'll never know until you try. So that's really what I want to say to you right now, the biggest message coming through. And then the songs I receive, I will put down in the description below to see if they help, because clear channeling messages is very important, especially when we're dealing with media. You never know how many things you can find out about yourself until you read a book or you watch a movie, or even like music videos or just listening to music. It's transcendent. You know, the idea of art being a way for the divine to communicate with ourselves, regardless of the artist's intention. And so the first song that came up was "Show Yourself" from the movie Frozen 2. And you are the one you've been waiting for all of your life. There's this voice calling inside of you, and it's been calling for a long time. You went into the unknown following this voice, and it's something about yourself that is hidden and locked away that you need to look into. So the Fae really strongly want you to believe in yourself because they believe in you. They want you to believe in your magic. They want to be with you to help you through whatever process you're going through. And if you are committed to a spiritual path or even career, just trust that you know yourself well enough, or you will know yourself well enough to know that there's a voice inside of you and understand it. It's okay to think outside the box. It's okay to look at something in a different way from everyone else. We all have different perspectives and different points of view to offer, and that perspective could be valuable to so many people. Like, my own way of delivering messages is not for everyone, but for the people it's for, that means something. That is valuable. I don't talk like everyone else. I don't channel like everyone else. But that's basically the best way to look at it. Is I am my own voice, and the people who listen, they have that voice too, or they appreciate that voice. And you can be that for you and for many other people. So don't hesitate to get out there and do that work, no matter what that looks like. Even if it's painting, even if it's writing a novel, even if it's just going out there and making people happy. Because I'm seeing someone becoming a clown in the circus, or like going to a children's hospital and making balloon animals. It's like, that's the way to practice your spirituality and faith, is to go out there and be a light to the world. However you channel the divine is unique to you. And yes, being an entertainer is channeling the divine. You're sparking that light in you and making the world brighter, because all hate is the absence of love. And a lot of people are driven by this need to take love, but that's filling in a void in which they cannot love themselves. You teach people to love themselves by being that love and light and showing them that it's okay to accept that in, and you don't need to take it from anyone else. You can just be that for yourself. And so if you're going out there and being that for others as well, in a way that is positively impacting the world, that holds value, that holds space. You're another seed being planted, and the Fae are helping you water that seed, because we need more love in this world. We need more sense of unity and companionship, you know? So I think that's the biggest message coming through. And let's see what else the Fae want to say. This is a time for rest in your spirit and soul. And okay, so oftentimes when I channel, Christian songs come up, so bear with me if you have any sort of if that's not for you, just disregard it. But one of the songs that came up was "It Is Well in My Soul." So it feels like there's this, because I'm even feeling this right now, the sense of peace. I feel a lot of peace in this reading. Like, whatever nature spirits or fae or fairies are around you, or whatever magic you've been working on, or temple, if you made like an altar. I heard temple work. I heard offerings at a temple. So you might actually be priests or priestesses or shaman, or had been in another life, because I'm getting a lot of very zen spiritual energy. I'm getting like very calm. Like you are or were, or you have the soul of a spiritual leader, basically. This is that type of calmness. Like you're in a monastery and you're just imbibing the pureness of universal love. I am feeling that right now. And it's forcing me to slow down. And that's exactly the energy you either are in, need to be in, or the Fae are helping you maintain right now. Because there's nothing better than rest and peace for the spirit. And I guess the main message of it is well, or it is well with my soul, is no matter what happens, I am going to be okay. I trust, because all that fear is the absence of trust, the absence of knowing you will be okay, and trusting yourself and the universe to work things out, even when things turn out like not so good, even when bad stuff happens. Bad stuff happens a lot of times, unfairly and unjustly too. However, if you enter into a mindset of this unconditional love and come to terms with the darkness of the world and even the chaos, you have the sense of peace within. It doesn't matter. The walls could come crumbling down. Everything could end. And now I'm hearing the song Bones. When the bones are good, the rest don't matter. You have been building a foundation of inner peace against the backdrop of a world that is filled with chaos and inner turmoil, and has been preconditioned to accept that as the only way of being, but it is unsustainable. And we as a collective are seeing that more and more, but don't know how to change it. You are the change maker by embodying that. Because I'm seeing this Four of Swords as being a strong person who is both able-bodied and sincere in such a way that their strength will not let anything knock them down. You are so strong inwardly, or are going to be soon. The more you work with this energy, the more you meditate daily, this peace will be your normal. That you're not going to respond to the chaos in the same way. You're not going to react to it. And it doesn't mean you're not going to feel pain ever again. It just means that it's not going to stay for very long. You let it flow through you. You allow yourself those emotions. You acknowledge it. So the Fae and the fairies are here to say, Spirit is here for you always, but they especially want to thank you for your contributions to the world at large just by being a light. And it is your fate and your destiny to be seen and heard in such a way that you are not limiting your beliefs to think that you don't know what's going to happen next, and you don't know if you're going to meet people who get you or soul family. You don't need to be in that space anymore of knowing things are going to go right, but anticipating they're going to go wrong because of past experiences. Right now, it feels like you're in this transitional stage. You're receiving messages from the divine. I'm definitely picking up on that a lot. And it feels like you're receiving them a lot more now. And now take that into consideration, that if you're in this period of pause and rest, that is a good thing. You are getting used to imbibing the energy of this new frequency and this new life you're stepping into. So it will be just running in the background and you don't have to think about it. When you do enter into these new situations, new environments, new relationships, when you're going out into the world during this spring phase of your life or spring phase of the year, there is a hibernation almost after the hibernation, but it's a different type of hibernation. It's almost like a waking up and a yawn. To be able to take that in, sit with yourself for a while, ground that energy into your being. And since the Fae are essentially waking up more alongside with the birds, the blossoms, the buds on the trees, they want you to know that they're here for you and will offer help if you need any additional guidance, or even if you're looking for good news, they want to help you. And whatever practices you have or traditions you have to either communicate with them, or I'm hearing conjure. Some of you might work with herbs. Some of you might do potion work. I'm hearing potion master. Whatever you do to honor those spirits, definitely start practicing it now. Yeah, there's a lot of seeds being planted now, or the seeds you have been planting or planted before will grow. And now I'm being taken to a lot of yellow flowers. So if any of you have a garden or a fairy garden, or you know how to make a fairy garden, if you don't, I would definitely look that up. Or have a gnome house in your backyard, I would definitely focus on, if you can't plant seeds right now because the soil and the season in different parts of the world, depending on where you are and when you're watching this, plan out a garden. Sit down on a piece of paper and just sketch out how to arrange your garden to be holy, because that is almost like the centerpiece of your yard. Or if you don't have a front yard or a backyard or a garden space, plant some flowers and keep them in your room. Give yourself like a little taste of sunshine in your room. I'm seeing a lot of yellow flowers. I saw I'm seeing the color gold definitely surrounding you. So it feels like you're embodying that Christ-like heart energy, or the energy of pure golden unconditional love. Your house is your sanctuary. Your body is your temple. Give it that space of sacred simplicity and bond with the spirits that imbibe this planet and help her grow. We all work together. And Mother Earth also wants you to know that she's along with you for the ride, and she wants to work with you too. I'm seeing a lot of grass growing in a green garden, like sitting down and just almost like clear channeling how to plan out your garden, which flowers work together, which flowers pair together, which flowers attract certain insects. Like, did you know that monarch butterflies like to eat milkweed, but milkweed is actually toxic for a lot of animals, so you might not want to do that. But there are other plants that attract certain types of butterflies during the year. Like, do you want a butterfly garden? Do you want more bees? Do you want hummingbirds? There are so many different types of flowers that attract certain creatures or certain friends, as I like to call them, to your yard, and they benefit greatly. Sit down and channel that message. What is going to make you feel more at home here? Bring that special sense of sanctuary. Allow you to sit on your front porch and enjoy that garden space and know that that is your temple. That is where you are safe. You are being held by the arms of Mother Earth, and the heart of this earth is being shown to you through this fairy magic. And understanding how different animals and plants work together, you can create your own unique environment suited for not only you, but for them too. They might not need us, but it's nice to have a relationship with the world around you. These birds don't need us to build a bird box or a bird nest, but it's nice for them to have it. And it creates this almost companionship with the ecosystem and our world around us. So imbibe that, bring that into being, create, because this world is in desperate need of artists and creators like you. Even if you feel like you don't have an artistic bone in your body. Because with me right here, me channeling messages and setting up all this, I set up every video based on intuition. I basically kind of visualize what is going to bring energies in, what is going to bring in the best information to what I need to channel. And I don't even know what some of the cards are I'm going to be reading, but I just intuitively know how to set up this entire shot and figure out what is going to bring in people who need to hear the message. There is always some sort of intent behind an action of creation, whether that's forming a bond with another person. That is an act of creation. You are an artist if you walk up to a person and wish them a good day and they leave with a smile on their face. You have made something beautiful. You have made someone have a good experience. You are an artist creating with your voice, not just your hands. So I just want you to know that you are a light to the people. No matter what you do, no matter how many people you reach, you are valuable, you are lovable, and you are also adaptable, and you can make anything of your life. Your life is a lump of clay in your hands. You can mold it to whatever you want. As long as you continue creating from your heart and your voice and your truth, your heart, your soul, it matters. We need more people to build on the building blocks of creation. So let it be known that you're a GD artist. You're an artist. So the Fae definitely want that to be known. And hey, we love to see it. So we have a lot of yeah. So I had a song stuck in my head. I am not going to put it in the description below. I think this is just confirmation for me because a lot of sunlight imagery has been coming up. This sun card has been coming up in my own readings and other readings I've seen. We're coming into a brighter future. Everything's going to be okay. Even when it doesn't seem like that, sometimes on the outside world, your will alone is making it true. Like, this world has almost manufactured a society based on need and depletion. And yeah, I mean, if you're creating a consumerist mindset of, planned obsolescence, of course you're going to have people need more. Of course you're going to have to build society based on fear and lack and separation and segregation. However, the will of the mind is strong enough and powerful enough to change how society flows despite the powers that be. Your will alone, your heart alone is enough to change this planet. One seed at a time, one day at a time, one person at a time. That is why you're valuable. There are billions of us who want better, who know we deserve better. And how many people are obstructing that process? Not actually a lot. There are actually a few of them. Sure, they have immeasurable power because they made it so. However, how much power do we have? 1,000,000 people against a couple 100,000 who try to claim they are in control. They are not. They are afraid. They lack control. That's why they go out of their way to take it. And that's what we see a lot in like almost black magic, insofar as people sacrificing others to gain what they don't have. But at the end, they're going to lose it because they didn't do the work to maintain it. They didn't intend to actually receive it. They always intended to take it because they didn't want to have to do the work to receive. They didn't want to embody that mindset of, I have enough, I am wealthy. They feel like they don't have anything, so they have to take from others who have it. You don't have to live that way. It doesn't have to be that way, because we got so much sunlight energy around here. We have so much gold around you. And I'm so proud of you, every single one of you who's stepping up and doing the work and committing to it and choosing the light. It's not easy. Let me tell you, my dear friends, I love you so much. And I'm so proud of you. And the Fae are proud of you too. It is not easy to wake up in a world that has gone dark and malicious and almost like conspiratorial and cynical, and choose to not be that, to choose the unpopular opinion of, yes, this is bad, but everything's going to be okay. I'm going to look on the bright side. I'm not blind to the darkness, but I understand how to walk in it as a light. I appreciate every single breath I take. I appreciate waking up to the sunshine. I appreciate waking up to the cold weather and the snow, because I am alive. This world is beautiful. This world deserves love and light. And you are that. You are the sunshine. You're bringing that light in. And I just want to say thank you so much. And the Fae are here for you too. So call upon the flowers, hug a tree, walk in nature, be in the sunlight, bask in it, plan out your gardens, be a creator, be an example, and continue to be the love and light that this world deserves and that you deserve too. So I want to thank you so much once again, dear viewers, for tuning in today. I appreciate y'all, and I will see you in the next video.